Imagine there are two types of girls. There's Preeti and then there's Neeti. Preeti is a typical lover girl. She always needs a man in her phone. She loves having a man. She jumps from relationship to relationship. She's basically anxious every single day because she's waiting for a text back. Guys are treating her poorly. They're throwing her off to the side. She's always upset, but she honestly hates being alone. And that's why she's always stuck in these negative cycles and she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't want to be alone. And then there's Neeti. Neeti has a fulfilling life. She enjoys being in a relationship, but she's also okay without one. She has friends, she has family, she has activities she does, she has passion projects, she has hobbies that she's doing, so she keeps her life pretty busy. She doesn't rely on a text back or a man to take her out to change her whole entire mood because her mood is okay with or without him. That doesn't mean that she doesn't love being in a relationship, but she's just not dependent on a guy to change her whole mood and make her happy all the time. No matter what happens with guys in her life, she's cool and she's chilling. Now, obviously you guys know I am Neeti. I am a completely different person. And in this video, we're gonna learn how to go from somebody who feels like Preeti to somebody who acts and feels like Neeti, okay? We're gonna learn how to be content and single, and I'm gonna talk about my sober from men journey and how I got from here to here. Now, in this video, there's going to be 4 chapters, and all the chapters are based out of psychology. The first one is we're going to talk about anxious attachment, kind of like where this feeling stems from. And then we're going to talk about enjoying our own company. And then number 3, we're going to talk about being sober from men and what this entails, how it's going to completely change your life and your whole dating experience. And then number 4, we're going to talk about the results of being sober from men and how you're going to put this into your own life. Okay, so let's get started. So, number 1, anxious attachment. If you are anything like Preeti, you might have an anxious attachment style, okay? I'm not going to talk about the other attachment styles in this video because I feel like most of you guys are probably anxious. Somebody who has an anxious attachment style is oftentimes kind of like the needy girl, always needing like a guy to make her happy, wanting the guy to fulfill her, kind of like blowing up somebody's phone sometimes, gets really anxious when a guy's not responding, not choosing her, and it's just kind of an attachment style that stems from your childhood. I have a lot of other videos actually on attachment styles and anxious attachment specifically that you could go look at if you want to really deep dive into this. This attachment style obviously stems from childhood. It's really not your fault. It's just kind of something that you've learned. You've learned that you need a man to be happy. You've learned that your happiness lies outside of somebody else and them choosing you and them wanting you is what you need to feel fulfilled. And you basically don't feel it by yourself. You always need somebody else to choose you and you need their approval and you want them to want you. And this kind of attachment style sucks. 50% of the population has a secure attachment style. So if you are one of those, then you're really lucky. Secure people, they want a relationship, but their whole entire identity is not a man or the relationship. They aren't really anxious. They can kind of like go spend time with that person, but they also really enjoy spending time with themselves. They're like what we would consider being healthy in a relationship. And so my sober from men journey, I feel like moved me from an anxious person, Preeti, to a more secure person, which is Neeti. So number 2, I want to talk about a little bit about a relationship with yourself. So this is just important to understand. It's really easy for us to fantasize about relationships and just think that our life will be complete and like just like the freaking Bollywood movies when we have a man and when we have a relationship. And we don't really talk about having a relationship with ourselves because it's like, I already know myself. Like, what do you mean? When I was an anxious person, I didn't want to hang out with myself. I don't think I would literally be to the point where like if I had to spend one night alone by myself, I hated it. I would like find people to hang out with. I would go find things to do. You don't like deeply know yourself. I almost think of like your relationship with yourself as like 2 different people. Like if there's 2 of me, I love spending time with just me. I can laugh with just me. I'm cool with like just being with me. I could go for dinner like just me. Think of it like you always have to like step outside of your body and like there's 2 of you and like do you really love yourself? Do you love the person that you are? Like, it's almost like the same way you would love a best friend and you could name all the things you love about your best friend and you love spending time with your best friend and you can go to your best friend in dark times or like when you're feeling low. Same way, the same exact dynamic you need to have with yourself. It's like there's 2 of you. The relationship with yourself is important because this needs to be there as a foundation in order to be in a relationship, okay? And it's not about being Miss Independent and oh my god, like, you know, I don't need a man. No. If you don't have a relationship with yourself, you don't have like the strong foundation to bring other people into your life in the sense that when things go wrong in that relationship, you might stay in a toxic cycle longer than normal because what's the other alternative? Your foundation is weak. Like you have to go back to yourself. You have to go back to being alone. Oh, but I don't like that. A literal example that I could give you is that like I used to literally hate just like spending a night alone. And so let's say I was talking to a guy and like we had plans that night and I'm like, okay, yay, like I'm excited. Like I have plans that night with this guy. And then let's say he cancels on me. even if he had a valid reason, my whole reaction would be miserable and I'd be so upset because I'm like, now what? Now I have to just sit inside by myself. Now I don't have other plans to go to. I'd be so upset and so distraught. Sometimes I would take it out on them. Sometimes I'd say something to them. I would go out of my way, and like, that's not acting as like that's not what hot girls do. That's not what like girls who know their worth do. If he cancels on me, I need to reevaluate, do I even want him in my life? If it's a valid reason, I'm okay with that. I can spend the night by myself. I have my own things to be doing. That's the type of girl we want to be, and that's going to come from having a relationship with yourself. Now, this is going to take us into number 3, which is my whole sober from men journey. This is probably why you're watching this video. It's really easy to be like, oh, I have a relationship with myself. Like, look, I go out for drinks with myself. Oh, I can go to dinner by myself. No. Having a relationship with yourself takes some time. And so what I did is I did sober from men, and I have a whole TikTok series where I literally would give you guys updates about it. You can go check out my TikTok and my Instagram. Basically, I decided about a year ago that I'm in these toxic ass cycles with men. Why am I so anxious? Why am I so needy? Why am I putting up with men who are treating me like shit and I'm just not getting what I want? You get to a point in your life, which maybe you're there right now, where you're just like, bro, like I am just sick of this. It's not one guy, it's not two guys, maybe it's multiple people. It's like, I'm just like not getting treated the way that I want to get treated. I don't feel fulfilled. I'm anxious all the time. I'd be up and down, like crying one day, then I'd be really, really ecstatic and really happy when he would like choose me, or I would get attention, or I'd get a text back or whatever. And then it's like up and down, and I was living in this constant spiral, and your mind is just like exhausted. You could even just be stuck in a toxic relationship that's up and down. And it came to a point where I was like, I just like can't do this anymore. Why can't I like just be happy alone? Like, why am I stuck in these cycles? Because I don't have that foundation with myself. How do I build that foundation with myself? I'm gonna force myself for a certain amount of time. There's a lot of other YouTubers who've done this. Tam Core specifically, I know that she did something like this too, where she just like swore off guys for a year. Being sober for men basically means like you are not getting attention. You are not talking to any guys for a certain amount of time. Do you want it to be a couple months, whatever it is for you. I did it for a year because I feel like a couple months like wouldn't have been enough for me. I basically, whoever I was talking to at that time, I had to let them go. I want to like literally take myself out of that addiction and that attention and that cycle, and like just have to sit by myself for a certain amount of time and learn to love myself. Sometimes I literally think of men and like attention and dating as like an addiction. If you're an anxious person, like an anxiously attached person, attention from men is literally an addiction because it feeds you. It makes you feel good enough and you want it more. I would notice this with guys where I would be like, they would text me and then we'd continue the conversation, and then like they'd arb on me, and then I'd be back in that negative cycle. It was like I want more. And so being sober for men, it's sober because it's like alcohol addiction. Like, you're being sober, you're gonna go through withdrawal. So you're purposefully taking out all the men in your life that are feeding you that little attention, and they're being inconsistent, and they're making you feel good. Sometimes they're making you feel bad. If they're making you feel good, take them out. Because if they're making you feel that good, you would have been in a relationship with them by now, and you're not. I had to like literally remove it, and like when I tell you, like that was the hardest thing I ever did. Like, it's a literal addiction to have attention from men, to have men in your phone, to have men who want to take you out. Where this even got trickier is, okay, I would never be like talking to somebody. Even when I would go out, let's say I would meet somebody, I would have to be very like, no, Neeti. It's very easy to be like, oh no, like I met this really sweet guy, let me like go on a date with him. No. You made a commitment to yourself that you're going to be sober from men, and you're going to build a relationship with yourself for a year. The one part that was actually really hard was like Instagram and social media. There's a lot of like DMing, there's a lot of liking stories, there's a lot of following, all these things that guys will do. Girls do it too. That was happening. And so when I didn't have anybody on my phone, I almost kind of like looked to Instagram to be like, oh, like this guy's looking at me, people are in my DMs. Like maybe I would respond to one or two. Oh, like look who's liking my story. And I'd get my validation from that. And so I even had to like stop with that. I didn't delete my social media, like I am a content creator. Even if there was a really cute guy, like not respond to DMs. And it fucking sucked, because you know what sucked? Sitting there with no man on my phone, no dates, no validation from attention from DMs, going out and still being like, no, it's fucking lonely. And I hated the feeling because I hated being by myself. Eventually, the more and more I did this, month after month, the better it got. I started to feel like I didn't need the attention anymore. That is the place that you want to get to, because when you don't need the attention, when you don't need him to validate you, you are coming from a strong place. Now it's a game changer. Your dating game is going to completely change because you built that relationship with yourself. You don't need them to validate you. You're cool by yourself. Some other things I did is I started like actually just hanging out by myself. Like I told you guys, I couldn't even spend one night alone. I actually would like watch TV by myself. I would do activities by myself. I started really focusing on self-development. I would watch a lot of YouTubers that would like teach me about how to be happy alone, that would teach me about attachment, teach me about confidence, teach me about self-worth. And I feel like I kind of found like comfort in that, where I would literally spend my nights working on myself, reading. I started to journal every day. I put myself in therapy. Slowly, like, did it suck in the beginning? Yes, but I started to kind of feel better and better. I'm at the point, I can tell you now, 1 year later, and it's a Saturday night right now. What am I doing? I'm recording YouTube, and I'm just literally gonna go to my Pilates class and chill by myself. What did I do last night? Same thing. What am I gonna do tomorrow? Same thing. It's not to say that I don't go out, but I genuinely am like so content. Like, you get to a place where like you love your own company. Like, I love just like watching a cute Netflix show tonight and like drinking my hot chocolate and listening to music and then going to bed and doing my skincare. Like, and it's crazy because I know that if you're looking at me being like, I can't do that, I was literally you a year ago. Force yourself to do it and find things that you enjoy to do with yourself. Like, I would go for walks. I started to focus on the gym a lot, and like that was something that I was doing for myself. Like, now every night, like, I have the gym to go to. Okay, I have Pilates classes to go to. Another huge thing was you need to find a passion project or a passion. When I was around the time of learning to be sober for men and like going on this self-love journey, I really focused on content. I put my whole entire thought and soul into like being a content creator, thinking of ideas, researching it, recording videos, posting. It literally is my child. It still is my child. And you don't have to be a content creator. Whatever you have a passion for, maybe there's something that you've been like thinking of doing that you've never done it. Maybe you wanted to start dancing. I also started dancing. Put your time and attention the same way you would focus on men. Now that you have like, you're going through like the withdrawal period is done, maybe after a month or two of not getting the attention, be like, okay, like I want to put all my energy and focus into this. Not just like your 9-to-5 job, not just like hanging out with friends, like something that you're actually passionate and you want to do. And I found that it got a lot easier to be sober for men and do a year of being alone when I had my passion project, which was content, my child, because that was what I woke up thinking about every day. Not how lonely I was, not that a man didn't respond to me. None of that. I want you to remind you that it's gonna suck at first. Withdrawal from attention, withdrawal from the text, withdrawal from compliments, it's gonna mean that you're not getting validation from a man. Okay? Start validating yourself. Tell yourself you're amazing. Tell yourself you're beautiful every single day. I have a lot of other videos on validating yourself, which can really help you. Force yourself to not get attention. You're gonna be very tempted to like still get that attention from like somebody texting you, somebody reaching out to you. Realize that you made a commitment to yourself and it's just a year, and you are building a relationship with yourself, and that's more important to you than like getting attention, getting this attention from this guy, getting compliments from this guy replying to my story. No, we don't want any of that. Next, what I really want you to do is start investing in yourself, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's spending more time with your friends, whether it's spending more time by yourself, finding out things that you like to do by yourself, learning more about yourself, watching self-development YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading books. Focus on your damn self or else. Last, you're gonna focus on your passion project, whatever it is. Maybe it's a business you've always wanted to start. Maybe it's this hobby you've always had. Maybe in a couple months of being sober for men, the more reflection that you do, you're gonna think about something that you've always wanted to do, and you're gonna put your whole entire energy and focus onto that and start actually cultivating like the dreams that maybe you have forgot about. And that is gonna help you, and that's gonna really teach you that you're investing in yourself, and it's just gonna move you forward in life. Like, you can spend your whole entire life being distracted by men and getting attention and chasing men, miss out on your dreams, miss out on opportunities, miss out on your career, miss out on cultivating a relationship with yourself and friendships, and just miss out on the big dreams and things you had in life that maybe you forgot about because you were so distracted by like needing attention. That is basically my sober for men journey. I mean, I'm really happy where I am. It's been a year. Am I single still? Yeah, but like I'm in such a different place. The most important thing is that now when I enter relationships, I know that I'm not going to be needy. I know I'm not going to be anxious. I know I'm not going to put up with toxicity. I know I'm not going to like put up with guys treating me like shit, because I'm okay by myself. I'm okay to walk away from things because I know that I'm cool by myself. I know that I'm okay with it. I feel like now I'm in a place where I'm actually going to attract like the man of my dreams. I'm actually going to attract the man that I'm going to have the most healthiest, intimate, beautiful relationship with, because I'm not coming out of a place of lack. I'm okay by myself, and I trust myself that I'm probably not going to end up in a toxic relationship ever again. Obviously, you know, when I get a relationship, I would love to update you then on how that's going, but like, at least I can say that I don't have the up and down every day. So I really think that doing something like this could help you. I know there's a lot of other people who are self-development podcasters, YouTubers who have done the same thing and they really took like a year for themselves. I highly recommend it. If you have any questions, just comment them. I also realized I didn't even introduce myself, by the way. I'm Neeti, if you didn't get my name in the beginning. I do a lot of self-confidence, love, dating, self-development YouTube videos. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I have a lot of other shorter form content. Basically here for the brown girls, for all the girls actually, just to give them a better life. We're just leveling up, okay? And I will see you guys in the next video. Love you!